Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Epic day guys, epic day. Beautiful green to red and epic red day today in the markets. There's a lot to cover today, but my focus will I'll spend more time about the market bearish and reversal, how we traded that. So I will cover that. If you just want to listen to that, you can just move to the last segment. Otherwise, I will cover some other plays, big plays, DELL, Tesla, huge winners for us today, AMD. So I'm gonna focus on few plays today. But before I do that, quick introduction for anybody who's new to me, new to my YouTube, new to my my community, or new to Twitter, or new to follow me. So these are the trade recaps and teachings from the trades in the community, or any trade ideas that I share on Twitter or I share on YouTube, previous videos. Any ideas we take, any trades, swings, investment ideas we take, we try to recap them. We try to see how we lost money, how we made money, what were the repeatable setups that we played, and try to learn from them and try to implement any learnings in future. So we always trade fixed setup, fixed system. We do not trade random. I have my fixed system that I teach everyone. I have a fixed setups, 14, 15 setups, be it a day trading setups, swing setups, or investing setups. Those are my repeatable setups that I teach, and in our community mostly we try to play those, and we stay with the trend. We are never against the trend. Every morning my team is up early before the market opens. We go through all the news sources, up gappers, down gappers, macro events. Like today there was jobless claims that came out, and then we go through other what Fed speakers are speaking and all that. So we make a game plan for the day, right? So we stay on the top of the market and see what's going on. And this was the game plan for today. As you see, there were a bunch of names on the news plays: PLTR, Oracle, MSTR coin, and of course we had Amazon, Tesla, Boeing, Square, and a bunch of those. Our main focus today was on Tesla, and there were a few news plays like LEVI's and RPM, and Square and ULTA long. So there were definitely few plays there, but the main money today was made in the midday breakdown of the market, and using our system and analysis, we'll talk about that, how we nailed that. But we also create a daily levels for everyone. We create these bullish support pivots and resistance pivots for everyone, so that they can take these pivots and these levels and use Ripster cloud system to trade on their own. Today, if you see these SPY, QQQ, NVDA, AMD, all these levels really came in handy for all day short on all these names. So we'll discuss that as well. In addition to that, I also create what I call as my day 2 levels. For example, DELL was a day 2 play, was a day 2 short. So those were some of the plays that we always keep on our watch and trade accordingly on what they do. So we will discuss those plays. We will discuss the main plays that we played in the community today. So that was the introduction, guys. Let's start with the first play of the day. All right, the first one, guys, we are going to cover is DELL. I went in detail on our DELL swing yesterday, so I'm not going to go deep into the swing side. Although, if you guys remember from my yesterday's video on DELL, I said we are going to get our 130.31 target, and then we are going to have that the next leg over the all-time highs. So that was the breakout we were trading in the morning. Of course, market tanked and we stopped out of our swing today, so we were all out of it. I had kept 10%, but when the market tanked, we were all out of it. Our target on our swing was 138. We went 136, but let's see what was our plan. Let's go back and try to see. So DELL was our main play on our day 2 sheet, along with play, and DELL was 128.90 was support pivot, resistance pivot was 131. So let's look at that. Look at DELL. So in our pre-market planning, that's what we planned. We planned that this is what we are going to trade today, right? This is what I said. I'm on voice first few hours. In the pre-market, we discuss our day 2, day 3. So DELL, I said, watch the all-time high breakout, the push today. It's our swing, but we can scalp a day trade as well, and that's what we did. We scalped day trade. I personally was in 132 calls right at open. It's breaking out of that pivot. I'm on the voice. I'm telling everybody that's it's good to trade that, and that's what we hit. We hit 136 in just first 20 minutes. My DELL calls went over 157. 138 was my target, but that's fine. We didn't hit that, but when it broke 512, we were out completely. And when market was tanking, that was the time to exit the swing. Actually, 1 hour is still bullish, but way the market was, it was better to exit it. Our swing was at 109, hit 136. So that was a solid winner on swing. I had a 10% left, but when it tanked, we had to exit. So you see how we day traded it, and that was a big winner to start the day, DELL. So alright guys, let's look at our big winner for the day, Tesla. So how did Tesla pan out for us? Before I go to the breakout, let's see what I was saying in the morning. In the morning, it was not ready. So in the morning, so if you see here, I told everyone no long, gap fill short so far. So there was this gap, right? There was no long. Even if before I say that, let's go to our morning plan. Tesla, our levels were 170, 170, 60. Long as over as 170. Also watch the gap fill holds. I already told everyone that we will watch if the gap fill holds. So that was the plan. And that's what we are watching. And let's see what happens next. Told everybody to have patience in the morning. And now the next what happened was, let's look here. So if you can read here, when I said Tesla gap filled, I'm watching, right? So that's what I said, gap is filled and I'm watching. And then it was rejecting 3450 for a time. It was rejecting this 3450. But when the candle moved over that, look what I said. Confirmed basing versus 168 can watch the pullbacks to scalp long, right? Only risk is that if market tanks, that's the only problem. But you can, use that level. You have to see the 3450 cloud holding it. As that's what I'm said right here. And then Win comes in, he likes that basing as well. He gives the 168 risk level as well, right? And then that started to push. And then the first level of breakout, this is our first level of breakout right here on Tesla. And as soon as I see that, let me show you what I notice. I notice that 1 hour is turning bullish. 1 hour is turning bullish. So look at my tweet, right? So I tweeted, right? We were already trading, but I shared my Twitter followers as well because it was a nice setup. So I thought I'll share the idea. And you look that 1 hour chart pattern is turning bullish, right? This is how you make money. You talk about making money. This is the conviction you need to make money in the stock market. These kind of setups. And look, this was before. And mind you, Tesla went all the way to 177. Anybody, if they took this idea, made 200, 300% there. So let's go back. So we are breaking out. The 1 hour is bullish, but there was this seller at this 177. So 177 had a seller and it kind of blocked it for a few times. You see there's a wick. So there's always sellers and buyers. Resistance is nothing but sellers. So they're sellers. So I said there's a big seller, need to clear. And once it started to clear that seller, I said stops should be break even. Look here, stops should be break even. If the breakout holds, the market don't mess up, our next target should be 172.50. So that's the next target I gave everyone. So now let's see what happened next. So after that, I was trading 172.50s. So let's see if I can show you. Or let me just show you here. Okay. So after that, it was all about managing your long trade because Tesla was only still trading half of its ATR. And the next level breakout was 173. You can see it here, right here, 173. And then I gave a 174.40 target because 18% of ATR was still left. Right, and then we met that target as well. And then I saw buyers at 175. So I was talking in the chat that there's a buyers at 175. So I was reading the tape. So that was another entry right here at 175 to trade more long. So look here what I'm saying. Tesla 175 buyers trying to hold. It's not giving 175, you know. I was out at that time, but I was watching. 175 buyers was a good entry. And that's what happened. It pushed again into 177, right? So that's how you trade long. I scalped some again versus their 175 risk. So you see how we started. You know, we didn't look for the cheap entry. We looked for the best and most highly probable entry, and how we traded all the day long. And you can see all my guidance. And not only that, when the trend changed, the noobs short without a system, they try to find the top and they lose money. You know, I have tried to help a lot of traders preserve. In our community, no one is losing money going, you know, getting squeezed in the uptrend move. Everybody stays with the trend. That's how you preserve money, right? So anyways, but there was time to short as well. So time to short was this 175 break, 512 EMA cloud. So I told everyone this is a B minus short setup. When 512 breaks, it will pull back to 3450. The target I gave was 173.30 and 173. And that's what we met. And at that time, you know, so even if you were in shares in the morning, you risked $2, right? You made $6. So one reward to three, one risk to three reward trade. You risk $500, you could have made $1,500. Yes, on the options, you know, you risk $1,000, you probably made $2,000-$3,000. Depends upon your sizing. So these are the kind of trades. I showed you DELL before that, and then Tesla. And you can see the live guidance right here in front of you. And when market was tanking, people were asking me, should we long here? I said, no, market is heavy. If 172 breaks, it can tank more, and it tanked more. And traders did short Tesla today as well. Up and down, long and then short. When we'll talk about the market fade, we will understand why there's no long buying here. This was the time, and this was what we nailed. And I want to make sure you guys understand that 1 hour breakout that I tweeted and told everybody, that was the main win today. That was the reasoning for that breakout. Of course, the game plan, pre-market game plan, and we were ready and we nailed it. Most of our room was solid green already on Tesla and other plays before the market puked. So that was an epic Tesla trade for us, guys. Watch this again. I explained it to you, everything, the levels, the 1 hour, how to enter, where to enter, why not to enter initially, why to wait for most probable entry, how to use the clouds, how the 171 breakout works, how the other flag breakouts works, how there's another buyer here even when people think it's too high and try to short it, and why was it short later in the day when 512 broke down. So this should be a great case study, guys, how to trade up and down, mega winner and a mega short all day, same ticker. All right, guys, next one we are quickly going to talk about is NVDA. So even in the morning, NVDA was bearish. I told everyone, avoid AMD, NVIDIA, SMCI, avoid these tickers, right? Why? Because they were bearish. They were under the clouds. NVIDIA, I told them heavy and bearish. Watch QQQ for any setups. And this is not blindly. Look at our levels. NVIDIA levels were 900, 897 resistance. You know, never even reached resistance. Now, under the 900, there's no go. All day NVIDIA under 900, there is no go. This is no long. And if you shorted, you did really good, and market puked. That helped NVIDIA much further than that. So NVIDIA was an epic short based upon the system. Not going to spend too much time, but my voice guidance and our system, traders know that you short it. And once market is tanking, you shorted, risk the 3450 cloud. So a lot of traders were short on NVIDIA. I was short in QQQ. I will cover when we go there, but NVIDIA was all day short. Let's talk about AMD. So AMD was actually, you know, it was even more better short than NVIDIA, because AMD was breaking daily 50 EMA cloud. I often talk about how important the daily E50 EMA is. 1 hour is bearish, 10 minute is bearish. There's no long. Look what I'm saying. AMD weak, no long. If you're scalping 178.70 your first target, then it's bear back flaking down, you know, and I closed the short actually when it was trying to curl. So I closed my short earlier when it was trying to curl, and then market tanked. But again, it never really curled. I had a good profit and I was happy with it, but I said, you know, don't hold over 178. But it never really went over 178, right? Never really went over 178. So that was my guidance, to don't hold over 178. It never got over 178, never based over the clouds, and it faded much more all day, slow fade on AMD. Right, so you could short anything, and we will go, when we talk about that, we'll talk about that. But here are the levels on AMD, you know, 181, 181.19, those were our levels today. So there was no short or no long on AMD, all day fade. You know, I was too busy with other tickers, but on our community, AMD faded another, from that bear flag breakdown 177, it faded another 12 bucks. That was an epic short. The options went 200, 300, 400% on that AMD short. Just a solid day on AMD. No long today. You know, that's just a beauty. So those were our AMD and NVIDIA recaps, guys. Now let's go to the next play. So let's look at Meta. So what was the setup on Meta? Why were we trading Meta? Let's go back, look at our levels on the Meta. So let's go. So Meta, the level was today was 510 and 511, but important thing on Meta today was this all-time high breakout, right? So that was the breakout, and of course we had our pivot level. So a lot of traders in community were long Meta, and I gave them the target of 524. That was the initial target I gave them, and I told them if it goes for the ATH breakout, then you can like trade more, and that's what happened. We got that all-time high breakout, right? Initial push to that all-time high resistance, the target that I gave 524s, right? I gave 525.4, pulled back to 512 EMA cloud, hold it, and then breakout again, and then went to 530 from that all-time high breakout, and that was your full 100% ATR. And now look what happened after that. When market hang, this was a B minus short, and this was another short with the market. So this is an all-time high rejections. So these can be a short tomorrow too. So we have to watch these, and Meta and DELL are all-time high rejections. So we watch them tomorrow. So next one we're going to discuss is ULTA. So let's go back and review what was the ULTA. So ULTA was our day 2 setup. You can see 440, 437, resistance was 448, 450, and then ULTA was also on our game plan, and I told everyone to refer to our day 2 sheet for the levels. The plan was that ULTA also had some upgrades to long it today, right? We had a crazy bearish day yesterday, so we were looking to see that if it turns bullish or if it turns green. So that was what we were looking at. So that's what I mentioned in the morning. If holds the bullish bias, wait for the amateur move and you can long it. You know, working nicely. It was holding 512 EMA cloud, 465 target what I gave everybody in the morning. We met that. Then we were looking at our 468 target on ULTA. So a lot of traders were trading ULTA today in the community before, and then when it broke, I told everybody to exit, good to close. I warned them at 464 and ULTA went back to 449. So you have to make sure you manage your trade, right? We were long ULTA from that pivot, from our pivot of 448, or even if you traded 450, and that was enough, $16 per share on ULTA, and you were supposed to get out here, right? 512s. So all by plan, day 2 planning, one of the top day 2 plays for us. You can see number 4 there. So that was definitely a good winner for everybody in the community, and we didn't let it turn loser. We were good at time, we were good at exiting. All right, so we're going to discuss another one that was PLTR was in community today. So basically for me, I was short in the morning on PLTR. I told everyone, let's see here. So the game plan on PLTR was support was 2350, resistance was 2425, and I said careful on a B minus pullback, watch breakout levels. So the point was I was looking for a B minus short. So that's what I told everybody, B minus short. If it keeps failing, B minus short, it can pull to 34.50, and that's what happened, right? It pulled back, rejected the resistance I gave everyone, and then it pulled back to 34.50. So I personally covered that because it was bouncing over that, but in community, RGV and many others, they still hit it short when it broke down 34.50 clouds. Great call on PLTR in the community by RGV. You can see him, all his guidance on that RGV short. Nailed it, beautifully done. So, and after that, with the market fade, it gave much more. So this is how you have find opportunities. It's not just me, right? On the trading floor, such smart traders all day. There are so many ideas. I just pick 4 or 5 ideas and we discuss, but all day there are opportunities. Yes, we lose on some ideas, that's fine, but our losers are tiny compared to where we win because we stick with the trend, and day like today, we hit it out of the park. Anyways, PLTR was all day short today. Amazing call outs on trading floor. We had a guidance as well in the morning on our game plan. So the other one, the next one we're going to talk about is LEVI, the gene company. So LEVI was basically today, the LEVI was on our watch list. Bullish bias versus the cloud. 2130 was the resistance breakout pivot. It breaks out right away, at the open or little before the open, and I was like, we can long it, watch the pullbacks, and my target was 2250. We almost hit it. We were 11 cents short, but once it breaks this 512, you just get out. So it was a decent morning trade, and of course everything tanked with the market, but LEVI was a decent long in the morning as well. So next one we're going to talk about is RPM. So let's go back and see what was the plan on RPM. RPM was on our watch list. Plan was bearish to short. I was bearish to neutral. 116.50 was the resistance and 115 was a support. Let's see what RPM did. So RPM, we were short out of the gate. We were short because 115 gave up. Then it started to come out and I said close it because I knew it can push higher, because right, it can push higher, and look where it pushed, 116.50. The level I gave 116.50 and it rejected, and that's when I said it's bearish again, so you get back in again. And after that 115 breakdown, it went $5 per share short. So you need to understand that we were short. That's fine. Either your stops were here or you watch the cloud rejection and then you get back in. That's why I told everyone close over 115, and when it rejected I said bearish again, so that we stay bearish. This will happen time to time, but this is how we have to manage. The system is still doing its thing, right? It's swiping, that's fine, but that $1 swipe should not destroy your trade. You can always get back in. So next one we're gonna discuss is play. So play was our day 2 short. Let's go to our day 2 sheet. Number 1 play 61.65, resistance pivot 70. When I saw it breaking down, that's what I told everyone, that play is a short today, day 2 bearish heavy, and 65.50 was my first target, and it kind of actually went more under that. So it was a day 2 repeatable setup play. Remember we were long yesterday, but today it was a day 2 short because it was under the cloud and under the pivots. Both the levels I gave, it never turned bullish over my 70 pivot, broke my 67.50 pivot. So yes, it was a bearish short. All right, guys. So now we're going to discuss our all end of day shorts, right? How did we nail that? End of the day shorts were amazing. And it was not just on SPY QQQ. The shorts were on everything. Let's go here. So look at, traders were long. So today was a great day for traders. Some traders had their biggest day in the community. Some had really biggest percentage day in the community. Like Mike had his, biggest win of the life. So that was amazing in the community today, right? So a lot of traders did such a good today because we executed. Leo did really, he rode Microsoft up and then he rode it down, NVDA breakdown. So I will explain how we were able to do it, how the traders were having the best day in this bearish market middle of the day. So let's look at it, right? So what was happening on SPY QQQ? All right, so SPY QQQ was breaking the clouds and Fed was speaking. First of all, we need to know what is happening. Stay on top of everything and don't try to find the reason, just know what is happening. So Fed was speaking. That's why I give this Fed schedule every Sunday, that what's happening, what time, which Fed is saying something. So market started to show the weakness. Market started to show the weakness, and that's when I said, let's go back. If I can show you, okay, right here. Market breaking 3450. As soon as I saw that, I alert everyone in the community. And not only that, VIX was breaking out of all our pivots. Let's go back, see what were our VIX pivots today. 1425, 1450. All the resistances are breaking out. All the resistances are, guys, breaking out. So this again is the VIX and SPY strategy. And a lot of the traders, my students, they use this strategy. I don't even have to tell them. People telling me, hey Rip, VIX is doing this, VIX is doing that. You know, so you see that in community, we are all talking about VIX, 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 VIX spike, because everybody understands the SPY VIX strategy. Nobody's trying to long. EMA cloud is breaking down, no long. EMA cloud is breaking down, no long. How low can it go? It can go as low as it wants. Read the tape. Lower lows, lower highs. None of the candle is basing. Not even 2 candles showed you basing. So you short as long as it stays. And what did I see? I focused on SPX gap fill trade. This was the trade I focused on. Let me actually go back and show you on Twitter. Right? So these are the setups you focus on. So let's see if I can show you one by one on SPX fade. So look here, market in the gap, under the clouds, big gap, right? Fed speaker speaking. What happens next? Fade more in the gap. And I was on the voice. I specifically went on the voice when these things are happening. My traders already know what needs to be done there. And I literally said we can short anything. So anyways, we will go into the back gap more. VIX is still going higher. We go into the gap more. We fill the gap, but we didn't hold the gap, so we faded more. NVDA is breaking the pre-market lows, so NVDA is going to fade more as well. Right? What happens next? We fade into the next support. There is no buying it, guys. There is no buying it. And then I talk about this daily 20 EMA. So I say if we break this 20 EMA, then we can fade a little bit more. So that's what happened. We broke that daily 15 EMA and we flush more. We flush more. The SPX gave epic trades today, 200, 300%. Epic trades today, SPY, QQQ, NVDA. Look at NVDA chart. I showed that pre-market lows and it gave much bigger fade today. And explained that all you have to do is use your profit to buy those options. You make profit, buy further lotos. Either they go to zero or you make 2-3 times. That's how you trade this flush with options if you don't want to trade with the shares. Right? So that was the plan. And look what I was saying. You pick anything to the short. You short Microsoft. Look at the Microsoft chart. 3450 breaking down, you short it. Market breaking down, you short it. Look at Apple chart. Market breaking down, wicks going up, no higher lows. Every pivot that I gave, every pivot that I had in my sheet was breaking down. You don't even need to look at flow when this kind of price action happens, right? And I said when VIX was breaking 15, I told everyone hold shorts tad bit more because VIX is breaking 15. Look what I'm saying here. Then I told everyone that VIX resistance 16 is coming. Watch that. And it rejected from 16 once and then pushed again and we scalped more. So there was no buying today. Not a single person was buying anything in the community today. We were all short. Look at any trade. We were long in the meta, but then it was a short. Just like I showed you, many traders were long in Microsoft. They made money in the Microsoft and they were short. Look at the range on the downside, right? Much, much bigger range. You know, so you really need to be ready you really need to be ready for tomorrow and these kind of big days, guys. Big data pre-market tomorrow, so we will know what happens. Hopefully we don't gap down too much, but it'll definitely be great day. So the point I'm trying to make is the system, you stay on the top of it. I try to, the daily 2021 EMA was very important. It even faded after that. The pre-market levels, yesterday's level, Ripster EMA clouds, Ripster labels, nothing fancy. You don't need RSI, you don't need all that. Those are the selling points that people sell you. All you need a trend. You don't even use EMA clouds, just price action. You want a system that tells you when things turn bullish to bearish and you stick with it. And you don't buy the dips today. I told everyone today, let's see, do not try to buy the dips under clouds. Look at that. I told people that even the middle of the fades, and we faded much more after that. So guys, this is how you trade consistently. You make money consistently, you lose less money, and you grow, guys. So this is the complete theory on how we traded the short in the market today, how we traded the short in the market today. So this is how we do it. So it's pretty simple, guys. Nothing crazy about it. How we shorted it, amazing day today. A lot of good feedback in the community. Everyone was having such a good day because we are not an alert service, right? We do, I do guidance from what I have learned. I share with people. I see the price moving, I see differently things because I don't clutter myself with 20 indicators. I just keep things simple. So that's how you do it. You be ready, trade as a professional, have a system, follow the system, period. You don't need anything. Work on your execution, work on your entries. You can start with small sizes, 1 share, 10 shares, 1 contract. I know small accounts have a little challenge, but even you guys could trade something else, which is, watch my small accounts webinar. So anyways, guys, a lot of things I teach in my webinar, free to join the community. You can watch there. But so this was a great day. Tomorrow will be a lot of fun. We will be back trading tomorrow. See you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye. If you want to join the community, the link should be in the description with the discount codes. Come for a family, do not come for the alerts. See you tomorrow. Tata, bye-bye.